Hey everybody, Ben here with IMFuse, and today we're going to take a look at one of the most interesting social media sites called Pinterest. It's got a lot of buzz. There's a lot of people talking about Pinterest. A lot of people actually don't even really know what Pinterest is all about. It's something I've actually recently just got into, and you know, I'm pretty big into Facebook and Twitter and most of the other social media sites, but Pinterest has just recently caught my attention, and I wanted to find out a little bit more about it, so I thought I would share what Pinterest is all about. So what I'm going to do today is take you from start to finish, setting up your Pinterest account and actually creating your first pin board and posting your first pin. I'm going to give you some descriptions about what the pin boards do and what they're all about, and what pins are, and what the purpose for Pinterest is. So now, in case you don't know, Pinterest is by invitation only. So you've got a couple options here. First option is you can go to Pinterest.com and you can select the request an invite button right here. Now, if you have a friend that's already on Pinterest, you can have them send you an invitation. And to speed things up today, what I did is I sent myself an invitation. I'm going to sign up with another email account. So basically what happens when you click the link in the invitation that's in your email is you're going to be taken to a page in Pinterest, and what you're going to have the option to do is actually sign up with your Facebook account or sign up with your Twitter account. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sign up with my Twitter account, and I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And now it wants me to create a username, add my email address, and a password. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in now. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and click Create Now. Okay. First thing that happens when you log in for the very, very first time is Pinterest is going to try to suggest people that you can follow. So what they kind of do is give you a broad variety of categories. So you can pick anything from architecture, cars and motorcycles, outdoors, travel places. So being a guy, I'm going to go ahead and pick cars and motorcycles, food and drink, sports, and you guys got to have sports. And, you know, let's be kind of healthy and let's choose fitness. So went ahead and chose 4 categories. Once you select those, let's go ahead and click Follow People. So now what Pinterest does is it takes your categories that you selected, so it kind of learns what you like, and went ahead and followed people that have similar interests. So now I'm following some pinners. The next step is to create some pin boards. So what we want to do is click the Create Pin Boards button, and what you're going to have the option to do here is create your first pin boards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify some of these that they've kind of put in there by default, and I'm just going to leave the other 2 for now. And actually, if you wanted to add more, you have the option to add more at this point. But for now, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit Create. So now I've got 5 pin boards, and I'm going to hit the Start Pinning button down at the bottom. Okay, another option that Pinterest gives you is to add Pinterest to your timeline on your Facebook. And so for right now, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to go ahead and say no thanks. So before I start pinning, I want to give you just a broad overview of actually what Pinterest is all about. And the reason I waited till this point is because it's really easier to explain once we have our pin boards set up. So what I'm going to do now is go look at my pin boards. Okay, I have 5 pin boards here, my style, for the home, favorite foods, favorite books, and favorite cars. Now, the 3 that I modified in here were the foods, books, and cars. Now, the purpose for Pinterest is to pin items to your boards, and what I mean by items is images or pictures of items that you like. You can group these into your pin boards. So if you remember back in, I don't know, the 80s, 90s, when you had the old cork boards and you would pin, I don't know, calendars, pictures, sticky notes, and all kinds of stuff to that cork board. This is kind of a similar idea, except you have pin boards. It's organized, and so you have various categories or pin boards, and you can organize your content on these. So there's tons of things you can do. I mean, you can have your favorite recipes. You can plan out your furniture in your home and pin all the various items you want to put in your house, your dining table, your couch, maybe your dresser or your bedroom set. You could do your favorite shoes. I know there's a ton of ladies on here that love to post wedding dresses, their favorite manicure nail job, or fingernail painting. I'm not sure exactly what you call it. And so there's just a ton of things that you can categorize in here, and this is just kind of showing you what you're all about using images and categorizing them. The cool thing about Pinterest and what makes it a social media site is people can follow your pin boards, so people can see what you're pinning. They can kind of keep up to date with what you're pinning. It's almost like Facebook, when somebody likes your page or follows you, or on Twitter or something like that. Twitter's very similar, except you're just using images. So these are my pin boards, and what we can do is we can go in and we can edit them, number one, and number two, we can pin items to them. So let's just take a look really quick to see what happens when we edit one of our pin boards. When we go into our pin board, we can actually add a description. And so you can add a brief description. You can get really technical in here. You can even add hashtags. The other thing you can do is you can actually determine who can pin to this board. Do you just want to pin to it, or do you want to actually add some contributors? And if you add contributors, you just need their Pinterest name. So for now, I'm just going to leave this as me. And what we can do here is we can actually categorize this into a really broad category. So for this one, I'm just going to do food and drink, and I'm going to save my settings. So now my favorite foods pin board is now ready to go. Now, if I wanted to pin something to my favorite foods pin board, what I would do is I would come up to the add. I would say upload a pin, and I just happen to have a picture on my desktop here of a nice slice of greasy, cheese-dripping pizza. And so what I can do is describe it here. And what's cool is you can actually tweet this at the same time if you'd like, and you can pin this right to your board. So now I've got my very first pin, a big picture of a nice looking pizza. But if you notice something interesting here, I accidentally pinned it to my favorite books pin board, and that's not where I wanted it to go. So unfortunately I did make a mistake, but this is kind of cool because I can show you guys how to change that very quickly. If you look up here at the top, you're going to notice you've got a couple of options here. You've got a repin and you've got an edit button. What we want to do is we want to actually just edit this. And if you look down here, we've got my 5 pin boards that you can select. And so what I'm going to do is select favorite foods. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save pin. So now I've actually pinned my very first pin into the correct pin board. Now I can go back to my home page, and actually my pin will show up right here at the very top. Now,